It's the police. The police.
Scottsdale Police. You see my badge? We're with the Scottsdale Police Department.
Okay.
Can you come out and talk with us, please?
No.
The county attorneys have a search warrant for your property, so we need you to come out.
Okay.
So if you need to get dressed or get a coat, whatever you need, I just need you to come out here with us.
I'm sorry, it's not even 7 in the morning. I'm not comfortable having you. I don't know who you guys are.
I just told you with the Scottsdale Police
I know,
Department.
but I'm not comfortable even opening my screen.
Okay, well.
We have contact with Laura. She's being hesitant to come out right now. We're working through it.
Did you guys break in or something? I'm concerned about my parents.
Laura?
You guys have your
No.
guns drawn right now.
Our guns are not drawn. Nobody's
That
pointing.
looks like I can't tell.
Is
through the
anybody
screen.
pointing a gun at you?
You know what?
They say truth can start a war, but in this story, it wasn't truth that lit the fuse. It was a sonogram. A grainy black and white image glowing on a phone screen, floating across group chats, gossip pages, and tabloid thumbnails like a miracle wrapped in pixels. 2 heartbeats, 2 babies, she said. 2 tiny universes waiting to be born. And in a world where we believe what we scroll, where digital proof feels more real than medical charts, millions leaned in. Miracles make headlines. But the thing about miracles, they don't always survive the paperwork. And by the time this case reached a courthouse under the unbearable Arizona sun, the narrative cracked like cheap glass. No hospital records, no ultrasound trail, no heartbeat that wasn't generated by software. Just screenshots, accusations, and a Bachelor cast member standing bewildered in the wreckage of someone else's imagination. I would call it a scheme. This is a crazy story. The internet lapped it up, and influencers everywhere became afraid. A new fear was discovered. A fear that in the age of filters and AI, you don't need to grow a child to build a story. Sometimes you just need a JPEG and the courage of delusion. This is a modern fable about attention, obsession, and the dangers of seduction and sympathy. Once you're told you're carrying life, people don't ask for proof, they just want updates. This is the story of the Bachelor baby scammer. I'm your host, Stacy Lee. Let's begin. It began not with sirens or statements or some explosive TikTok call out, but with paper. In a courthouse, a clerk stamped a case number. No drama, no commentary, just a filing in the state of Arizona by a woman who believed she could turn private intimacy into public leverage and make the world listen before the truth had time to stand up. Her name is Laura Owens, Scottsdale polished, social media fluent enough in legal language to assemble what looked at first glance like a meticulous, airtight accusation. In 2025, she filed a paternity suit naming former Bachelor lead Clayton Echard as the father of her unborn twins. I do not watch The Bachelor. I've never seen an episode. I don't know anything about the show, but this story caught my eye because of the sheer outrageousness of it. And here in the true crime community, social media is becoming such a player in the stories that we hear. I thought this one was worthy of telling. Laura claimed she was pregnant by a very well-known man. For Echard, a man who had already learned how quickly America can build someone up and pull them apart, who'd left the rose petal stage behind to build together a quieter life, the filing of this paperwork detonated like a landmine. In a moment, he was no longer a recovering reality star trying to be ordinary. He was a potential deadbeat father, a man allegedly running from responsibility, a villain drawn by someone else's hand. The tabloids sharpened their teeth. Reddit refreshed its pitchforks. And the algorithm, always hungry for scandal with a heartbeat, feasted. Echard wasn't accused, he was exposed. The public loves scandal even when the ink is still wet and the facts are still sleeping. Laura Owens, whether by design or instinct, positioned herself in the glow of sympathy, soft captions, emotional undertones, the whisper of betrayal, and the implied narrative of a woman wronged, holding the truth inside her body. There's nothing more powerful online than a woman claiming harm, unless it's a woman claiming motherhood and harm at the same time. It is sacred, and when someone like this woman does what they do, it fires me up enough to want to talk about it. Because it hurts other women. It hurts other women in these same positions. It steals credibility from real victims. And we know where scandal lives, scrutiny eventually follows. And scrutiny, unlike gossip, keeps receipts. Echard's legal team began peeling back the layers. Metadata told a different story than Laura's. Timestamps danced out of alignment, refusing to sit where timelines needed them to be. The images of sonograms she was putting out there were being devoured online. Technology, indifferent and unemotional, whispered its own testimony. These images did not come from where Laura said they did. Echard's team issued medical subpoenas. The clinic that Laura Owens claimed to have visited could not confirm her ultrasounds came from their machines. Now, of course, HIPAA comes into play there, but I think they were just asking, did these images come from your machines? Technology was persuasive right off the bat, and this fueled Echard's legal team to continue. What had once been a legal document filed by Laura Owens now sat exposed as a performance with a fatal flaw. It forgot that in the age of digital machine, truth comes with audit logs. The legal question of paternity began to limp forward in the legal system. Judges read the pleadings, lawyers questioned, public interest began to tire. The storm that had blown in with breathless certainty suddenly seemed unsure of itself. And then, in June of 2024, the lawsuit collapsed. It was dismissed, not with scandal, not with a tearful confession, but with a phrase lawyers know and defendants dread: insufficient evidentiary basis. Translation: there is nothing here. And most stories would end there. A civil filing dissolved, reputations bruised but recoverable, 2 lives untangled and allowed to drift back into anonymity. But obsession does not dissolve with ink, and humiliation, real or perceived, has a way of sprouting into retaliation in the hands of a prosecutor who smells something more than embarrassment. Dismissals don't always close cases. Sometimes they wake them up. And when the court dropped the civil suit, somebody else picked up the pieces and asked a different question. If this wasn't a misunderstanding, if this wasn't confusion, if this wasn't emotional chaos dressed as legal action, then what was it? And that is how a story that began on paper ended in a criminal referral, the quiet courtroom door swinging open to reveal a new path, a darker one, paved not by heartbreak, but by alleged deceit. A lawsuit designed to extract financial and reputational capital suddenly rebranded itself in the eyes of the state as something far bolder: fraud, forgery, and perjury, a digital performance turned legal provocation. What Laura Owens did not realize is simple and devastating. Civil court can be a playground. Criminal court is a hunting ground. There is a particular kind of confidence required to file a lawsuit accusing a former national TV heartthrob of secretly fathering your twins. It's bold and theatrical. It's giving main character energy, except the script was written by someone who skipped Act 2 and prayed the audience wouldn't notice. But civil court really is more of a sandbox compared to criminal court. And once the civil lawsuit deflated, Arizona prosecutors looked at the pieces, squinted, and essentially asked, okay, but what if this wasn't delusion? What if this was organized delusion with felony seasoning? And that's how Laura Owens found herself on the wrong side of a grand jury. 7 felony counts rolled out like a courtroom Costco deal. Fraudulent schemes and artifices, which is Arizona's legal way of saying, oh, you weren't kidding, you planned this. Forgery, which is a class 4 felony. 4 counts of perjury. Tampering with physical evidence. The indictment read like a plot twist no producer would touch because even reality television has standards. And this script wrote itself into a corner that only prosecutors enjoy. By the time Laura Owens' indictments dropped on May 6, 2025, the internet was already wearing detective trench coats. Suddenly, every podcast host with a ring light became a surrogate district attorney, none louder than the caffeinated courtroom bloodhound himself, Dave Neal. Dave Neal didn't just cover this case, he auditioned to narrate the Dateline episode. His video titles alone could power a treadmill. Fetal Attraction, The Ultrasound Heist.
I have done nothing except get pregnant by the fucking Bachelor!
That was Laura Owens. She is not only under investigation, she's been charged with 7 felonies from the state of Arizona. I'm Dave Neal, a podcaster, stand-up comedian, and host of the Rush Hour podcast, and I am a star witness for the state of Arizona in their trial against Laura Owens. How the heck did we get here? It's so hard to share this story. We exposed medical fraud. She lied to our faces. She created fake journalists. She's very reckless in the crimes she has committed. She's not only threatened me with an $80 million defamation lawsuit, but also she sued me for harassment. She tried to get a restraining order on me. God bless the First Amendment. And I believe she'll end up suing me for emotional distress. I believe she'll do that because she's done that in the past to another victim of hers. So I'll tell you how we got here. Once this story went viral, once we shared it in our community, we found out that her previous victim, Greg Gillespie, his girlfriend at the time, Ashley, who now they are pregnant with their second child, his girlfriend at the time connected Greg to Clayton to say, hey, she's done this before. So we quickly realized we had a very interesting story on our hands. Clayton Echard reveals that they didn't even bump uglies, that they only had the, mouth version of, what I'm talking about. And Clayton said they did it twice in one night. Humble brag, Clayton. So, he says, look, I'm not a great guy, but I didn't knock her up, and he was willing to prove it, which sounds like an easy case. Well, maybe I'm an idiot, maybe I'm stubborn, maybe I love justice. A community came together, which is now called Justice for Clayton, JFC. And this community formed subreddits. They made websites, Instagram, Twitter, and they exposed and compiled all of Laura's lies. This will make every other Netflix documentary look like child's play. We have exposed hard evidence of her faking medical documents, stealing ultrasounds, one from her sister, one from a lady who lost one of her babies in a stillbirth in Texas. And Laura stole those ultrasounds. Laura still maintains her innocence. We did a mail-in campaign to get the county prosecutor of Maricopa County, Arizona, to look into her. Not only did the county prosecutor look into her, they ended up raiding her home.
If enthusiasm alone could secure convictions, Laura Owens would have been serving a double life sentence. But while the internet cackled like a Greek chorus, real lawyers were doing real lawyering. That's the problem with modern scandal. You have 2 legal systems. One runs on statutes, motions, and procedure. The other runs on thumbnails and emojis.
They're inside the home right now talking to your parents, and we have county detectives here.
County detectives
Yes.
here?
So
For what?
I'm giving you an opportunity. I told you we have a search warrant for
Then
your
let
property.
me have my parents out here and my attorney on the phone.
You can,
Because I
Laura,
don't, I am,
Laura,
cons- I
listen
have,
to me. Just listen to me, okay? I've been nothing but respectful to you.
no, it's not even 7 o'clock in the morning. Let me just call my attorney,
Hold on.
okay?
You can call your attorney.
I'm allowed to call my attorney.
Laura,
We don't want to break your door.
She's calling her
I'm on the phone trying to call my attorney.
You know we have legal authority to break your door. We do not want to do that.
Are you, David, do you know what's going on right now?
I can talk to
Hey,
him.
we got the county detective.
There's how many people are here?
A lot. Open the door. We're going to cut the screen and come in if you don't get off the phone.
The screen isn't even credible. I'm on the phone with my attorney. I'll put him on the phone right now. This is my attorney, David Tinger. He can't get up. You guys are gonna fall. He can't stand.
We got to take care of it.
Please, you're hurting me. You are hurting. No, you weren't. You were hurting me. I want to see my dad.
Handcuffs?
Yeah, that's what I want. I want to see my father.
Room.
You are hurting me. You are hurting me, and there's going to be a report for what you have done. I guarantee you, I will have bruises from this. I guarantee you, I will.
Laura,
please.
You just saw Laura.
No, and I don't know where my mom
Don't make me
is.
put you in handcuffs. Just cooperate. Come on.
These people are horrible. There's like 800 guns to my This is so inappropriate. I asked for you because I said I didn't know if they were real or not. I really still don't even know what they put on their guns. 468.
Hey.
There's going to be a report to the county. You guys realize that, right? This is before 7 o'clock in the morning. Any of their guns. I mean, I've literally never even seen a gun in my life.
Just don't let the dog get out and we got to deal with that nonsense. Okay. Let's go ahead and clear out of
Okay. We made entry. We're contacting the parents right now. You're good to move to the casita.
Laura Owens arrived in court on May 29th, 2025, offering a plea that was not apologetic, remorseful, or existential. She simply said, not guilty. Laura Owens' defense attorney stood beside her looking like a man who woke up one day to learn his client's case was being publicly dissected by people who don't know the difference between probable cause and probable clout. He declared that Laura Owens was being punished for doing something embarrassing. And my personal favorite, for being emotionally vulnerable. But the court was not amused. Prosecutors didn't see trauma. They saw alleged fraud disguised as fertility. And there's nothing judges hate more than someone treating their courtroom like a stage. And Clayton Echard, a man once memed for being the most indecisive bachelor of all time, suddenly looked like the stable adult in the room. Online, jokes bloomed like flowers after the rain. Call Maury Povich. The state of Arizona has determined that was a lie. This is what happens when your baby daddy reveal is a legal summons. Even the ultrasound memes evolved, side-by-side images of real scans versus Laura's AI babies. People face-tuning twins into random photos. I mean, it was a lot. And yet beneath the jokes, one truth hummed quietly. The state wasn't laughing because while influencers saw a circus, prosecutors saw something else. A test case, a precedent, a warning shot fired at anyone who thinks digital deception is a harmless game. Arizona's message was clear. You can Photoshop your waist and you can filter your face, but if you try to filter the justice system, it will unfilter you. It really does feel like the state of Arizona is making a point with this case. And as Laura Owens left the courthouse that day with her sunglasses on, her expression carved somewhere between indignation and disbelief, one thing was certain. This wasn't influencer drama anymore. The algorithm had done its part. Now it was the legal system's turn. And unlike the internet, judges don't get involved in the drama. They don't care about those details. And if there's one thing more relentless than a swarm of online detectives, it's a prosecutor who smells a high-profile conviction. Justice may be blind, but Laura Owens' ambition was not. The courtroom had transcripts, filings, exhibits, and oath-bound testimony. By summer of 2025, this wasn't a lawsuit, it was content. And content in our modern ecosystem doesn't aim to inform, it aims to feed. There were now 2 trials happening in parallel, one governed by law and evidence, the other governed by rumor and adrenaline. And if we're being honest, only one of those arenas had an audience that never sleeps. Enter the digital gladiators. Some wore suits and cited statutes. Others wore hoodies and cited Reddit threads posted by someone named Justice Warrior 93. At the front of the commentary parade, Dave Neal, caffeinated legal drama sommelier, an unofficial mayor of Bachelor Nation Court. He didn't just cover developments, he narrated them like a man genetically engineered to metabolize legal drama into YouTube gold. He pored over filings with the intensity of a Vatican archivist. He screen shared PDFs like they were classified spy dossiers. In Dave Neal's universe, no scandal sleeps, and neither, apparently, does he. People on TikTok were analyzing everything in the courtroom. She blinked 3 times during that denial. That's guilt in body language law. Oh, she used a lowercase I in her notes app. People that don't capitalize I have delusion. Like, I read these comments, you guys. It's crazy. The internet doesn't really do burden of proof. It runs on vibes. People were watching this trial really, really carefully. You know, was this real? Was that real? Was it old footage from another case? It's so hard to know what's authentic now. And the internet did not care enough to find out. Corrections are polite, but virality is feral. If you ever want to watch truth suffocate politely in the corner while rumor shotguns a Four Loko and climbs on the table screaming receipts, spend 15 minutes in a comment section labeled Bachelorgate. Laura Owens didn't stand a chance. Her defense attorneys could have produced a notarized statement from God himself, and someone on TikTok would reply, "Yeah, but did you feel her vibes were off?" Laura Owens then posted a statement saying she was being harassed, stalked, and tormented, and also digitally crucified. And somewhere in a law textbook, due process quietly began to shut its eyes. The law has to go back to the law, a case assembled by people with forensic certifications, not ring lights. They were looking at image hashes, metadata integrity, sworn records, and IP trace logs. Every screenshot Laura Owens allegedly provided, every file she saved, every date stamp she touched, those all became witnesses against her. Meanwhile, Dave Neal, bless his industrious soul, teased a possible interview with someone close to the defense, which in modern media language could mean anything from a paralegal to a barista who once saw Laura Owens order a latte. It's not malicious, it's just what the internet does. Narrates chaos as if it has a season pass to destiny. By the time summer sun baked the Arizona asphalt into shimmering mirages and the courthouse AC units hummed, the story had escaped its human subjects. It didn't belong to the lawyers anymore. It belonged to the public. A woman, a Bachelor star, faked ultrasounds, felony counts, and a trial pending. A nation of keyboard crusaders ready to decide a fate before the jury even sat down. Nothing, absolutely nothing, terrifies a modern defendant more. The Arizona Supreme Court briefly entered the chat in August 2025, and like a busy parent stepping over its siblings fighting, simply denied any sort of commentary. And while the world watched on and Reddit threads went crazy, TikTok made videos, the court made a ruling. After Laura Owens was indicted on several felony charges, a trial date was set for October 23rd, 2025. And I set this story to bring to you after the trial. But guess what? It got pushed back. I had it all planned out. I was going to watch the trial and then bring you the episode a couple of weeks later, but it hasn't happened yet. Clayton Echard gave an interview when the civil case was dismissed and said the nightmare is over. And it really is for him, but for Laura Owens, it's just beginning. I mean, she could end up doing actual time for these lies. She altered an ultrasound image, fabricated a pregnancy video, and lied multiple times under oath. And like I said earlier, I think they're going out of their way to make an example of her. And I'm okay with that. Honestly, I am. You've heard me say it a million times. Women that hurt other women, I'm not here for it. And this type of behavior hurts other women. Of course, it hurts the men that are targeted the most. And that in and of itself is a good reason for her to be prosecuted. But this behavior does hurt other women who have these actual issues, you know? So the episode will be a little shorter than I had planned because I plan to bring you up to speed on what happened during the trial. And you know I will bring you an update when it finally takes place. I kind of smell a plea deal. I don't think she's going to risk a lot of prison time, but you can go to prison for lying under oath. This is kind of an unusual true crime story, but I felt like it was important to talk about because I think we're going to see more of this. I think we're going to see more people using AI to try and fabricate evidence. So while this isn't an intricate murder story, I think it's an important one in the true crime community. I've played around a little bit with AI, and I've told you guys I do use it sometimes to verify facts, especially on brand new stories where the information's kind of hard to come by. And it did not take me very long to get pretty good with it. I'm even using it to help me come up with some ideas for the artwork for my new podcast. And you would not believe how easy it is to use. So for me, it's important to talk about stories where people have used AI and fake digital evidence to try to corner somebody. And this is just a paternity suit. Think about it in a murder case, or a more serious crime. I thought it was important to talk about, and I figured you guys would as well. So I'll bring you an update when we have one. As for now, I am glad this man's nightmare is over with. And I also want to highlight the fact that men are victims of crimes like this as well. I think more than ever, it's important to talk about men who are victimized because of the nature of the society that we live in now. When someone comes for your neck publicly and tries to ruin your life, they have all of these tools now on social media to do it with. And we've got to govern those tools, talk about those tools, explore the ramifications of misusing those tools. And yeah, I think that's going to become a much larger conversation in the true crime world. Laura Owens, you made some really bad decisions. Other people paid for them, and now it's time that you do as well. Thank you for joining me today on Dark Hearts with Stacy Lee. I sure appreciate you spending a little bit of your day with me. It means the world to me when you guys watch. And your comments, especially lately, just you've been so supportive about the fact that the channel is finally growing a little bit. There have been more times than I want to admit to you where I have thought about never making another video. We've got a little momentum now, but that's happened before and then stopped. Fingers crossed. I have big goals here. I want to raise money, and the kind of money I want to raise takes a lot of people. So we are moving forward. We are plugging along like the good little pioneer children that we are. Don't forget about my podcast. It's on Apple and Spotify. I post brand new episodes every Monday and Wednesday. And speaking of the money that we want to raise, this is our fundraiser. If you watch this video on my channel, on the playlist called Fundraisers, it will explain everything we're doing. Stay safe, my friends, and be kind to each other. And I will see you next time on Dark Hearts with Stacy Lee. Bye.